I'm Charles Babb. This is Scott Hamilton with Spirituality in Sports. Scott, talk about your Olympic moments, carrying the flag. I know in your book you indicated that was just an unbelievable moment.
Well, it was.
I can't imagine.
Well, I mean, I'm the third guy on a three-man team. All right, Charlie Tickner was, world champion in 2 years before the Olympics. David Santee, was right there on the edge of being on the podium, and I'm this guy that, the best I did up to that point was 11th in the world. So I'm the third guy on a three-man team with no chance to medal.
You're just happy to be there.
I'm
here for the vacation.
I got the jacket. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
I got Olympic rings, and I'm an Olympian for the rest of my life. That's all. I mean, who cares? I mean, the rest of it's just a detail.
And my girlfriend's here, so at the time, your girlfriend at the time.
It was all great, so it was kind of perfect. It was Lake Placid, Lake Placid was one of the greatest, cities to visit, and I had so many great memories there. So it was kind of perfect. And so I'm watching a movie at the Olympic Village, and I get pulled out of the movie, and they tell me, after teasing me for a while, make me think that I'm getting thrown out of the Olympics, that I get to carry the flag in the opening ceremonies. And when I speak on this, the one thing I always go to, which is very funny, is that I guess there'd never been a small male Olympian like me before, because I'm carrying the flag in the opening ceremonies, and they say, what size shoe do you wear? I go 6, and they go 7.5, okay? And then my jacket was too big, and I had to roll up the sleeves, and my pants were like the crotch of the pants were almost down to my knees, so I had to kind of roll those up at the waist, and then suspenders, and then the mittens kind of came down to there, and so I pulled them up as high as I possibly could. But I'm carrying the flag, and then my hat would come down over my eyes because it was too big, and I was constantly doing this, So
did you ask him where the little red nose was? If you're
really
gonna give me the Bozo the Clown outfit, you might as well give me the nose.
But it was, by the time we got done pinning and tucking and doing all those things, it was okay,
Yeah.
But the fact that I look back on that, and just that hat coming down, and then coming over this riser into the stadium, and it's a home-hosted Olympics. The American crowd went ballistic, and then I look, and all my team is, the whole Olympic team's behind me, and I look, and there's this path going down that looked like it was covered in ice, and I was like, oh no. So it's like my first instinct was to turn my feet sideways and kind of go like that, but then I thought everybody was going to like accordion into each other, and it was going to be like Keystone Cops. So I made it through the opening ceremony without any big issues, and then the rest of the Olympics went really well. It set me up for the next 4 years, but my dad was there, and a dear friend of the family, Sam Cooper, who was the one responsible for talking Bowling Green State University into building the skating rink, So it was really very family-like, and wonderfully exciting to be able to go to an Olympic Games as an Olympian.
Winning Olympic gold, I mean, that's something beyond the dreams of most people. I would say, the vast percentage of the world's population, obviously. You've mentioned even that when you experienced that, you had every emotion, even kind of a sense of loss. What's it like to win an Olympic gold?
Well, I mean, for everybody it's different, right? Because everybody's story is different. For me, I'm standing up in this podium, and I was really relieved because I'd gone every competition from the fall of 1980 all the way up until 84. I'd won every competition. I didn't get beat ever. And I'm looking at that going, if I go to the Olympics and I mess it up and I don't win, it's going to be like, oh, man, I'll never forgive myself. So
I mean, it seemed to me that the pressure really weighed on you. I can remember watching it. It seemed like you were under so much pressure.
Yeah, it was so bad in short program especially. The figures I was really fine because I was competing head-to-head with this French guy, Jean-Christophe Simon, who had the best figures in the world. And I was like, I'm going to either beat him or I'm gonna be in the conversation like I should have, right? Because figures were always my weakest event, and I figure if I can beat him at the Olympics, then it's going to take a lot for me not to win. So the figures part, I got in there and I really competed, And then after that, I realized that I've got such this gigantic lead now that it's going to be hard for me to lose. And then you kind of take your foot off the gas a little bit. And I didn't want that to happen. So when I came out for short program, it's a very small building. It didn't seat that many, and it was just loud and flags. And the adrenaline spiked, and I freaked out in warm-up. If I would have been the first to skate after warm-up in the short program, I would have bombed. Because I couldn't feel my legs, I couldn't feel rotation, I couldn't feel anything. And the only thing that saved me was I found an empty locker room during, after the warm-up, and I just screamed everything I could think to scream, just sort of exorcise the demons, get them all out. I just needed to wear myself out so the adrenaline wouldn't take over and take me out of the competition. And I was able to do that. And then for the long program, I was kind of sick. I had a head cold, and the whole right side of my head was just full. I couldn't even hear out of this ear. And you can't do any medicine because it's doping. So, I got through the long, and I won, and I'm standing on the first place podium, and I was relieved because I got through it. I was really happy because it was a dream that I never thought to dream until it was right there in front of me. And, I was really proud to represent my country in that way because, U.S. champions, world championships, those are all individual, accomplishments. This was an accomplishment to be shared with the United States of America. And then all of a sudden I realized that I felt lost because that's all I've ever, everything was leading to this moment, and now who am I? My life is now all of a sudden it's like, who am I? And then I thought, why am I the only one standing up here when so many people made this thing happen? Oh, I felt guilty, and then I felt like I'm looking over the edge of the podium, like I'm looking over the edge of a cliff, and it's just like, whoa, something, my whole world has changed now. And Doug Wilson, who was the television director for ABC, he was one of the original Wide World of Sports guys. He just said, just so you understand, your life is forever changed. It'll no longer be the same. And it's like, yeah, right. And boy, was he right. Everything was different, coming home. But I remember just every emotion on that podium, and it's still right there. I remember everything about it.